page 8 of 22, and first of all, thank you to whomever typed all of these things. I hope you do what you need to do as part of the title prevention. On page 8 of 22, there's a reference made to a Miss Wendy Popkin, P-O-T-T-G-E-N, and I believe at that meeting, Ms. Popkin advised us that she lives at 4847 Myrtle Lane, according to my bad handwritten notes. The issue I have with the minutes is that it says Wendy Popkin, resident of Greenwood, in Fair Oaks subdivision. According to the Johnson County records that I reviewed, 4847 Myrtle Lane is not located within the Greenwood city limits. So I think it's inaccurate to say resident of Greenwood, and I understand it's a common misperception that if one has a Greenwood address, one needs to live in the city of Greenwood, but that's not the case. Chris, if you correct me if I'm wrong. Addresses are merely assigned by the postmaster, and oddly enough, obviously I represent citizens of Greenwood. I have some citizens within my district with Whiteland addresses, so it's beyond confusing. But at any rate, I think the record I think the minutes need to be revised to just merely strike the phrase resident of Greenwood.
So is that a motion to amend?
It is.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Landon.
Should we clarify it and say a resident of
Put the
the
address.
outskirts of Greenwood, or?
Put the address.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
On page 9 of 22, sorry.
that's all right. Oh, wait, let's vote on this motion first. Any other discussion on this motion? All right, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, minutes are amended, yes. Mr. Lexi.
On page 9 of 22, there's a reference made to a Jeff Hammond. And according to my notes and according to, I believe, a Daily Journal article the next day, it's actually Jeff Fanter, F-A-N-T-E-R. And he's the gentleman who spoke about living near, according to the minutes, spoke about living near a soccer complex, football complex, and quote, the middle school in Greenwood. I think Mr. Fanter, if the Johnson County records are still accurate, if he's here, he can correct me on this. But I think that he's a resident of what I would call the Center Grove area, more specifically Hickory Stick Golf Course. So I do believe there's a soccer complex, football complex, and a middle school somewhere down there. I don't think it's accurate to say it's the middle school in Greenwood.
All right.
Which I think the casual reader would assume that that's somewhere up here within the city limits, and to my knowledge, it's not.
Those are Greenwood mailing address, I'm pretty sure.
I don't doubt that.
So technically it is in Greenwood then?
No,
Mailing address.
it's not within the city limits of
It's-
Greenwood.
Sure, it's still within Greenwood.
Right, the postmaster almost randomly assigns.
All right, do you have a motion to amend? How would you like?
I would strike the, why don't we say bumps up against a soccer complex, change the name Hammond to Fanter in all instances, change the article, the football complex to read a football complex, and just say, how about instead of the middle school in Greenwood, we say a middle school?
Why don't you just call them what they are? South
Right.
Central Soccer Academy, Center Grove Bantam Football Fields, and Center Grove Middle School no, that's Central.
Should we put in parentheses to signify that it was edited by the council, saying that these fields were later identified as the ones you just identified?
I don't know if we need that, but so we have a motion. Do you want to include the names or just leave it generic?
I will second your motion.
Yes, all right. We have a motion to amend by Mr. Lexi, second by Mr. Hopper. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign? Motion passes. Anything else, Mr. Lexi?
No, just for the public's benefit. I haven't confirmed that any of the other proponents who spoke on behalf of the Iceplex from the public reside in the city of Green. I think I'm right.
All right. Any further discussion, additions, deletions, or corrections to the amendments, or to the minutes? All right, roll call on the minutes as amended.
Armstrong,
Aye.
Bates,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Corey,
Aye.
Gibson,
Aye.
Hill,
Aye.
Hopper,
Aye.
Lincoln,
Aye.
Lexi.
Aye.
All right, the minutes are approved. At this time, we have time for audience requests, and I believe we have Chief of Police who wants to speak to us.
Good evening, I'm John Montague, Police Chief. I was not at the last meeting when this motion was introduced. I did review and listen to the minutes of the meeting, and I also was there Saturday on a lot of topic. And it seems repeatedly that issues regarding the Iceplex deal with traffic, noise. So I've done a little checking into this matter. First and foremost, I called Chief Thompson of Fishers Police Department and asked him what it's like having an ice complex in the city. To which he told me they have no incidents at the fuel tank, that they have not had any other sporting events in the city. Occasionally there's a vehicle broken into, but he says the Howletts have been exceptional in working with the city and are good partners. So from that, I went up to Westfield, Indiana, to the Arctic Zone Iceplex. And the closest neighborhood I could find, I went back into that area and canvassed the neighborhood, and this is not scientific by any means. If the garage door was up on the house, I knocked on the door.
And they usually answer.
But that, I can honestly say it's a random sample at that. The comments I received, was lived in the area for 3 years, used the Iceplex to take children skating, no issues. The resident was there, the third house built in the neighborhood, never issued with traffic, noise, etc. There's no issues, takes his nephews there, no issues. I guarantee you, if I went and knocked on every door, I would have somebody say they don't like it. But these were the only 4 garage doors that were up at that time of day. From that, I went to the fuel tank itself in Fishers. And the manager was gracious enough to show me around, take me through the entire facility. And I'm just curious, for my own, how many people have been up to Fishers to the fuel tank? Okay, I'm just curious. So what we did, again, I'll just pull this up. This is the back side of the fuel tank. And if you look to the side, you see that the apartment complex is built right up to the corner. And I don't know whose Jeep that is, that's not mine. But I'm outside my scope here, but the machinery to extract the heat from the water, they don't cool it, they extract the heat, which I can't explain that, is inside the building. What you see on the outside is the only piece of outside machinery. So I took my cell phone and put it up there. That's as loud as it was. I had to hold my phone up to it. I'll play it again. Oops, no, I won't. So that is standing right next to me. That's the noise it emits. The closest neighborhood to the fuel tank is Marquette Drive. Couldn't find any residents on there, but I did find one with his garage door open. And from his front porch, you can see the fuel tank. And I asked him what his thoughts were about it. And so the resident of 12603 Marquette Drive, he advised that there have been 0 issues with the fuel tank concerning traffic and noise. He said he doesn't really notice the facility, which you can, like I said, you saw right from his front porch. And he stated that it's used often on the weekends, but directly in front of it is a YMCA. And he said that even with the YMCA in operations on the weekends and the fuel tank, there has been traffic issues that he has noticed. Lastly, internally, I went back to my crash records from 2013 up to date. At Avett Road in Smith Valley, Avett Road in Stop 18, Avett Road in Worksville, there has been no significant increase in crashes since 2015 when Freedom Park, or the Aquatic Center was open. So, I'm not an expert on some of these things, but I would rather deal in facts. I'd rather go look at these things myself instead of speculate on what ifs. I don't know what traffic's gonna be, but if it's anything indicative of Freedom Springs, I don't think it's gonna be a significant impact to that. I hope for any questions if you have from the council.
I know that the complex in Fishers is at the corner of 126th Street and State Road 37, which is a huge road. I mean,
So it's not at the corner, sir.
it's not directly on the corner, but it's a stone's throw, if you will.
No, it's not even a stone's throw.
No.
But there's no residential in between that intersection.
No, there's a residential directly, I think, to the west of it, and that's that Marquet Drive I was speaking about.
I thought the fuel tank set on the northeast corner of that intersection.
No, it sits behind the back of the
Northwest,
YMCA.
yeah, northwest corner, I'm sorry.
Okay, but Marquet Drive runs directly next to it, okay, to that building, the YMCA, that's the closest neighborhood, right there.
And that, you're saying that's in between the intersection of 120?
No, it's to, let's say to the west of the complex. So that's when residential starts. So that's the first residential, then it continues on there.
Right, so if you were approaching it from State Road 37, you wouldn't pass any residential to go to the.
No.
Right.
No, there's a roundabout right at Baxter
And
Road.
I haven't looked at the west, I haven't looked at the Westfield location, but what's the situation?
It's a field between that complex and the neighborhood I was with. That's the closest neighborhood. And theirs is in an industrial area.
It is? And what's the, if you were, say, if you took Google to get from Greenwood to that site in Westfield, and between the nearest major intersection and the site, are there residential neighborhoods?
Okay, you gotta relay your question on that.
Okay, so from Greenwood, Indiana, you drive to Westfield to go to this place,
Mhm.
and you get off on some road, you drive through residences to get to it, according to Google.
I've got it pulled up on.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, would you characterize the surroundings as a residential area?
It is, I mean, there's the complex, there's a field, and then there's a residential area.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions for the chief?
Yeah, that's-
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, at this time,
Mr.
On-
Casey, you have a question, I'm sorry?
Somebody had their hand up
no,
in
I'm
the
not
back.
going to the audience. All right, this time, we have on the agenda time for audience requests, and something tells me that a lot of you are here to, concerning the Iceplex and the, just the abatement that is on the agenda for tonight. Before we let anyone speak, just a couple things. We do have a 20-minute time limit on these issues, and since there are those here that I would think are for, some who are opposed, we'll divide that in half and give those who are in favor 10 minutes, those who are opposed 10 minutes. But to try to make it as fair as possible, could I have a show, or if you are here and opposed and wish to speak tonight, would you stand, please, so I can get an idea of how many people wish to speak? 1, 2, 3, I got 4, 5. All right, we have 5 speakers at 10 minutes. That'll be 2 minutes apiece. Now, we'll give you time to come up in a minute. Now, if you are here and you are in favor and wish to speak on the Iceplex, would you stand, please? Okay, I see 3, 4. Okay, we'll take 5 speakers. So some of you in the back who only saw 4 and decided to stand up, if you could choose among yourselves. But to be fair to everyone, I appreciate, I think those that I saw, we've had several people speak to us already at the last meeting and through emails and things. I would like to get as much new input as possible. I would ask that if you are going to speak tonight, that you try not to repeat what the other person has said, but that you try to bring some new information. So we'll start this evening with those who would like to speak in opposition to this. If you would step to the podium, please, and we'll give each of you.
I think we had one guy who wants to speak on something completely different.
Different?
He was up
Okay,
first
I'm
before.
sorry. We will let.
He wants to get in and get out. Now I need the time to do it.
Sir, I apologize. I just assumed that I probably shouldn't do that, so I apologize.
I
Sir.
appreciate that. I'm Pat Hagan with Our Lady Greenwood, and I will not rehash the meeting that you guys had recently on the parking issue. I just want to make sure that we're keeping it on the radar with the city council, and knowing that the church would like to work with the city hand in hand on this project, while also keeping in mind the parking needs not only at the church, but all the events that go along in that area, including Lamb Fest, Freedom Fest, et cetera, which uses a lot of parking in that area. So again, not going to rehash the minutes of that meeting, but want to make sure you guys are clear that we want to have an ongoing conversation.
All right, thank you. All right, if you wish to speak concerning the Iceplex and speak in opposition to it, please step to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please. And each speaker will have 2 minutes.
You better clarify whether you live in the city of Greenwood or just have a Greenwood address, I think, probably. Save us 20 minutes next meeting.
All right, sir.
James Workman, I live at 1474 Langs Court. That is in Brighton Estates. That is within the city limits. So in 2 minutes, I have a hard time getting through all the topics. You guys have a copy of the rest of my report that I wrote up. And I was kind of want to start off by saying I'm not against hockey at all. I love to skate. It's fun. Okay, what I'm against is the approval of Resolution 1704. So this resolution is an attempt to give away parkland and turn it into a business for the Howletts. You know, a city should not subsidize business by essentially giving away parkland to a for-profit business. The total lease for this 6.3 acres ends up to a whopping $720 over 60 years. That's $1 a month for 60 years. To me, that's basically giving away that 6.3 acres. The mayor's office referenced the last time a park study saying they were saying that the need from that 2015 park study does show that we have a shortage of a sheet of ice. They're right. It's on that park study. What they failed to tell you is that's 22nd on the list of priorities. The number 1 list is park and open space. This right here is a pie chart of all the priorities that were listed. You can see park and open space. This little 2 to the right of the red line that you can see, that's the need for ice. So the thing I'm trying to say is let's not take away the green space for ice. You know, let's use it as this study was, which was to tell you guys what the needs of the people are. You know, so I would just ask for you to just consider this and make sure you have all the information, make sure you have everything before you vote. The second topic I wanted to talk on real quick was around traffic. I know we beat it to death. I'm not going to sit here and go through a whole lot. We were told by the mayor Saturday that they have contacted an engineering firm to start a traffic study. Contact can be everything from signing a contract and making a phone call. You know, I would encourage you to let's get the full study.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Patrick Chambers. My address is 1506 Anon Court, also within the city limits of Greenwood. I'd like to thank the council for the opportunity to speak here tonight. In the midst of the time constraints, I'd like to just jump right into my concern that really I believe that the proposal to provide a tax abatement for the Iceplex is unlawful under Indiana Code 6-1.1-12.1-3 subsection E, which includes a list of facilities that are not eligible for tax abatements in the state of Indiana. Number 5 on this list is skating facilities. This specifically includes roller skating, skateboarding, and ice skating. Number 10 on that list defines the types of facilities that can be considered an economic development target area as a means of obtaining a tax abatement. As any facility, the primary purpose of which is retail food and beverage, automobile sales and service, and other retail. The Iceplex is none of these. The proposal to designate areas within Freedom Park as an economic development target area is an attempt to circumvent the statute prohibiting skating rinks from qualifying for a tax abatement. I urge you, as our duly elected representatives, to represent the interests of your constituents. This proposal removes a public good that is greatly valued and appreciated in our community, a public good that is free to use and will be replaced by something that requires payment from both citizens and non-citizens. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Martin Rosenberg, and I'm here to voice my opposition to the City of Greenwood Resolution number 17-04. I am a future resident of Greenwood. We are moving into 1216 Worcester Court. My wife and I have lived on the south side of Indianapolis for nearly 28 years. When we recently decided to leave our current home, we searched throughout the region for the best place to retire, spend time with family and friends, and of course, Lord willing, future grandchildren. Our adult children have left the south side, so we could have settled anywhere in the area. We chose to move to Greenwood. Within the last month, we have closed on our home and are in the process of building within District 6. There are many considerations that led us to move out of Marion County and into Greenwood. However, one of the main considerations was the beauty of Freedom Park and all of the amenities that it has to offer. The Iceplex development is disappointing, to say the least. Having a 3-story building plopped right in the middle of a beautiful park, forcing many of the park's great features to move or be removed, lessens the draw of what makes the park so great. While I see the benefits of a facility such as this coming to a city, I'm still scratching my head about the placement. I'm sure you have all experienced the pleasure of Freedom Park. Whenever we visit our new home site, we always stop at the park to utilize the trail for our exercise, our dogs as well. It's wonderful to see the number of people who are out there also using the trail, basketball courts, tennis courts, and all of the other amenities. Most of all, it's wonderful to still be able to go to a location to see and take advantage of green space. It's a shame the mayor and the city could not find another location to take advantage of this new relationship with the Indy Fuel. I too was going to speak about the validity of the abatement, as the previous speaker just did. I oppose the building of this facility in Freedom Park for many reasons. The city of Greenwood has a great deal of momentum. The revitalization of downtown, the soon-to-be-built shopping mall east of Interstate 65, and many road improvement projects on the schedule as well. This project complements those projects with their locations more, not Freedom Park. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
I'm Don Eads, and I live at 894 West Ketzinger Road. It is in the city. I've lived there for 46 years, and I am opposed to the Iceplex being located in Freedom Park. I don't think that this is a good business decision to have paid between $22,000 and $25,000 an acre for ground and given the Iceplex people 6.5 acres for that cost over $150,000 and give it to them for $1 a year. Thank you.
My name is Sanford Pedersen. I live at 570 Pine Lake Drive, within the city limits of Greenwood, and less than a mile from Freedom Park. The only thing that I'm going to repeat that I've said to council before is that I am enthusiastically in favor of an Iceplex in Greenwood. And I would love to see it come here in the right place. Now, I recognize that at this point, those of us who are going to be impacted are powerless, at least until the next election. in the hands of the mayor and ladies and gentlemen of the council. So we have to trust your judgment about what's good for us. I'm going to do that, but what I'd like to do is suggest some questions that you satisfy yourselves about the answers to. Are you satisfied with the city's protection in the event that the Howletts are unable to obtain the necessary financing? Are you satisfied with the city's protection if they default on their loans? Are you comfortable with placing a commercial business in a neighborhood park where no one in the city or the surrounding community will have any control over its operations? The Howletts stated here 2 weeks ago that they intend to operate past midnight, and they intend to seek a license to serve alcohol, which I'm sure they will be able to purchase. Are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with the additional costs to the city for the Freedom Park location as opposed to what I believe to be a more suitable location, probably better for the Howletts, frankly, and more in keeping with the comprehensive plan, and that's the area, Graham Road, I-65, Emerson Avenue.
Sir,
My time's up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, those of you that wish to speak in favor of the Iceplex, it's your time. Please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Tyler Clausen, 964 Santa Ana Drive. It's White River Township, not Greenwood. So, I'm a hockey coach here with the kids at the Perry. Done it for 3 years. I grew up in Wisconsin playing hockey. I've coached in North Dakota. I've never seen the growth that we have down here. It is incredible. We have to use half sheets of ice, split it up because of the numbers we have. The only way to fit 30 of these kids, we have 60 on the ice at one time, 30 from one team on one side, 30 on the other. I've never seen the growth. It's incredible. Unfortunately, the rink there, that we don't have the ice to offer a girls team. The handicap accessible ice, the sledge hockey, we're not able to offer. We want to offer it. This new rink would allow that. Also, the amount of money that this would bring in to offer local jobs. When I take my son to a hockey tournament on a weekend, you could easily spending 2 nights at least $300. That money, where's that going to be spent? In Greenwood, rinks in Greenwood. That's going to go to food, hotels, jobs for all the local people. So I strongly encourage you, please approve the Iceplex. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have this at 2 minutes exactly. So, my name is Duncan Baumgart, and I live at 940 Crystal Lakes Court in a neighborhood just behind where the Iceplex will be built. I'm in favor of the Iceplex, and I'm extremely excited that it will be built in my backyard. What makes hockey different from all other sports is the way it brings communities together. Families have to be involved by bringing their child to the rink for practice and games. Unlike football, soccer, and basketball, for most people, you can't just decide to play ice hockey in your backyard unless you live way up north. The Philadelphia Flyers' late owner, Mr. Ed Snyder, created the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation, whose mission is to build lives and unite communities with an emphasis on character development, life skills, and academics. The foundation uses the sport of hockey to educate young people to succeed in the game of life, and has been extremely successful. There are programs like this across the United States that use hockey to develop kids. We have one here. And this Iceplex would give the kids the proper facility to grow the character and learn life skills with this incredible sport. I've been coaching with the South Indy Sharks for the past 3 years, and I see firsthand the incredible support and involvement these families bring on a daily basis. Since I've been with this organization, it has grown, and this Iceplex would help us as a community to continue to educate these kids. The time where I see kids get into trouble is when they do not have structured activities to do. Structure and organization for kids is an absolute must, and in order for them to succeed in life. I feel blessed that I will be able to teach kids the sport of hockey with an incredible ice rink so close to home. I've been an educator in Indiana for 10 years, and a teacher in this community for the last 7, and I love Greenwood. Thank you to the Hellets and to Mayor Myers and to all who are working to make this rink become a reality and to help me to be able to continue to serve the kids in this community.
Good evening. My name's Kim Mosby. I live at 3101 Branch Street, which is down the street from Freedom Park. It is a Whiteland address, but a Greenwood resident. I'd like to express my support for the I-Complex and encourage you to vote yes to changes needed to allow the construction of the ice complex at Freedom Springs Park. I do have a vested interest in this project. I have a grandson who plays hockey, and I'm a homeowner in Greenwood. My research shows that in addition of the recreational complex has many benefits, one of which is an increase to your property values. I have provided you a copy of the report showing to this and 10 other benefits that a recreational complex will bring to your city. Other concerns I've heard is the increase in visitors to the park. The number that was run around was 800,000. First of all, let me assure you that's not all at one time. Okay. The other thing I can tell you that this is a plus, not a minus. One thing I can assure you, and I think it's already been retained to, hockey people and ice people spend money. Okay, they will spring thousands of dollars to the city of Greenwood. The other thing I'd like to point out to you is in addition to being a grandparent, a hockey player, and a homeowner in Greenwood, I'm also an executive for a Greenwood home-based company. The addition of any kind of recreational complex, pools, water parks, goes a long way in making a city very attractive to reside in. This helps with the recruiting and retention, the quality of help you need today, the quality of talent you need today. And trust me, it's a very competitive market out there for talent. In addition to this, it would encourage companies to relocate and open their business in Greenwood. We brought a company out here from Maryland for just that reason, to relocate to Greenwood. Let me finish in saying that although this project may have some minor inconveniences, the pluses far outweigh the minuses. We're talking about increase in property values, increase in sales tax revenue, and many more, all of which come with no out-of-pocket cost.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak for?